here to sugarcoat love's already above you. Too much shelter causes pain, let's just be real honest. Things are gonna knock you down, avoidance will not help you out. Let's talk it through, you, me, and you. Let's keep it real honest. Hi, welcome to Real Honest. This is a podcast where your host, Samantha Labat, which is me, shares candid thoughts and feelings about life, love, and relationships, God and church, adulting, the workplace, and everything in between. You may not always like me, but I'll always be honest with you. I'm thinking about changing the whole intro thing because one of my friends used this to mock me not long ago, and I was like, she's like, just a joke, which yes, it was a joke, it was funny, but also low-key bothered me, and I'm like, maybe I don't want to say that sentence anymore. Anyway, we're doing a story behind the song today because I'm not in the best mood. If you are new here, I write songs. I've been writing songs since I was maybe 11, 12, somewhere around there. It's my favorite way of processing my emotions, and I woke up sad today. I've been in I don't want to say a bad mood because it's not. I feel like bad mood more sounds angry. I've been in a sad mood all day and just did not enjoy class this morning, and then did not enjoy a meeting that I had to have with some other students after class. We had this conversation that just made me more depressed. And then I came home and I've just been I literally texted Cameron an hour ago and was like, I'm spiraling. Everything is terrible. The world is ending. I hate everything. I want to quit everything. I'm just in a dark place. So I had stuff that I planned to discuss today. But I feel like this episode is going to be a downer if I try to discuss anything or actively process through the sadness right now. So instead, I'm going to play a song that I wrote that I love because it will put me in a good mood. So if you guys hate it, I don't really care because it's going to put me in a great mood, and that is the whole purpose. So this song is one from the EP that I wrote last summer. So many of you have already heard it. Many of you have been waiting to hear it for almost a year now. So yay, the day has come. Sorry, this song makes me laugh so much, which is why I'm playing it. Because I was going through, so basically, if you're new here, the story behind the songs, I pretty much have been going in order of order that I wrote them, so that over time you guys can see some improvement that I've made, hopefully, in my songwriting skills, because I was not good. I mean, I still don't think I'm great at it, but I was not good at it in middle school and high school. But as I was going through the catalog today, every song that I wrote in high school is depressing. Every single one. I did not write one happy song. They were all very sad. And another thing is part of why I was going through all the high school stuff was so that I could get further away from last summer, so that when I shared these songs that I love that I wrote more recently, I would be more detached from the whole situation that I was in when I wrote them. But I am super detached from it. He doesn't listen to this podcast, so it doesn't matter. On the note of somebody listening to this honestly, I don't know who listens to this podcast unless you're one of the people that reaches out to me every single week to be like, hi, I'm listening to your podcast right now and here are my thoughts. If you're not doing that, I don't know if you're listening to it, which is fine. I don't need to know who listens to it. Except I did have a panic moment a couple weeks ago because my mom had told me that she shared, which I've already told you guys that the biggest listeners is my mom's friends, which is fine. But my mom had mentioned to me a couple weeks ago that she shared the podcast with one of her friends who shared the podcast with her son and his wife. And so I was like, has he gotten to the story behind the songs yet? Because I was obsessed with this man for most of high school, and most of my songs are about him. And I was like, oh, yikes, that's uncomfortable, because we're not in each other's lives anymore in any capacity. I have not seen or spoken to this man in I don't know, 7, 8 years, maybe longer, maybe 10. So I think it would be, I honestly don't know how he would react to it. I don't know if it would be weird or uncomfortable or if it would upset him. He has no idea that I have written songs about him. Like now, now today in the present, when I write a man a song, I usually, well, not every time, but often when I write a man a song, it is because I want to tell him something. And so I put it in song form and then I send it to him. And then I'm like, so what did you think? I did not do that in high school. Well, I probably sent Cameron's song to him, but that's different. Because Cameron didn't get any angry songs. But the angry songs that I wrote, and the sad ones, the deep, like, you crushed my soul and I'm so sad. Those I like played for my friends and they all knew who it was about, but I was not like marching up to the boys being like, you made me sad and I wrote you a sad song, here's the mixtape. So I was panicking about it for a little bit, but then I stopped panicking because I was like, even if he does hear this, I honestly don't think that he will know that it's about him. Like, really and truly, I think that our experiences of that time, I think, were so different and so polar opposite that, again, I should just want to keep reiterating, I have not seen or talked to the man in close to 10 years. So, like, everything that I say is just like how I remember him from our childhood and our adolescent time, and then whatever the last time that I saw him when I was probably 20. But I think that if somebody were to walk up to him today and say, like, describe your relationship with Samantha, like birth to now, I think he would probably say, like, our moms were good friends. She was obsessed with me when we were little. I saw her more as like a kid sister. Like, now we don't talk. Like, I really think that would be it. Whereas I am like, I was obsessed with him from the moment that I saw him, and then we were best friends, and then we were in love, and then we hated each other, and then I was in love and he wasn't in love. It's just the push-pull. So, like, I honestly think, like, I think he, like, could listen to all of the songs that I wrote in high school and still have no idea that it has anything to do with him. But anyway, that's a different story. Today, we are listening to I Kinda Think, which I wrote when I was in love last summer. And I dance to this song so often. It's one of my absolute favorite things that I've ever written. Not because I think it's an amazing song, but just because it puts me in a really good mood. So I hope you guys like it. You know I have a terrible track record with men, and maybe that's why I work so hard to keep you as my friend.
Have you noticed you do things like answer every single time I call? No matter who's around you, my voice is a sound you like. And worry if I hate you, let me get this straight. You won't take me on a date, you don't want me that way. But then you'll have me over, make sure I'm never cold. And you'll keep all our clothes on, you'll hold me until dawn. I'm sure there's another explanation why you watch me sleep like you love me, stroke my hair like you love me. You can't fake the way your face lights up when I walk through the door. You love me. I kinda think you might be in love with me, and you don't even know it. I kinda think you want some more time with me, but you don't wanna own it. I make you laugh a little too much, and you might want me around a little too much. In your mind's like I am not equipped to deal with that, 'cause it'll never last. But does it need to? I don't know.
I am screaming. Somebody take GarageBand away from me. Oh my gosh. I hate it so much. I love it and I hate it so much. First thing, I'm not going to go through like production stuff. So like, guys, please stop sending me production notes on these songs. I know that the production is bad. Like, I'm not stupid. I have so many notes for myself. I don't put the time and energy into mixing them. It's literally just like, I have something to tell this person and it's in me. And sometimes if I journal it, or if I just write the lyrics, or if I just sing the song, that's enough. But sometimes it's not, and I'm like, I have to tell him. I have to tell him or I'm gonna explode. And so then it's just a matter of like getting it to a place where I feel okay enough with it that I'm comfortable with him hearing it. And then it's out of my hands and I don't really care anymore. I do randomly listen to this song and dance around my house to it because it just puts me in the best mood. But I just say that to say, some of you have been like, "Oh, you should re-record this and like clean up XYZ." These are not songs that I'm trying to like release on Apple Music for people to listen to. Like, sure, I'd love to be a singer-songwriter pop star, but if I ever got to that point, like, these are not the songs that I would never want to sing this song on a stage to a stadium full of people or even a bar full of people. Like, I think I would die laughing and like not even be able to get it out. So let's just listen from that lens. I probably should have said this before I played the song. But anyway, let's hop into these hot ass mess of some lyrics here that we've got. Okay, verse 1. You know, I have a terrible track record with men. Facts. And then it continues, and maybe that's why I worked so hard to keep you as my friend. So this essentially was me saying like, sir, you have been a really good friend of mine for a long time. You have sat and listened to the many horror stories of my failed relationship attempts, and you have given advice. You have like been there while I was like sad about it and anxious about it. You've helped me through some of it, and you've been very like, I'm really sorry that like this area of your life has been so tragic and disappointing. So I was like, you know, which is why that night that you looked at me and were like, I think I'm gonna kiss you now, I was like, we should stay good buddies. I was adamantly like, let's be besties. This doesn't need to turn into anything. Like, I was hardcore, like, brakes, stop sign, let's run from this. Like, this can only end in tragedy. Okay, so the song continues. But baby, you're the one that can't be alone without reaching for me. And when there's other people around, you're avoiding me. You, sir, have a problem with projecting. Um, sorry. You guys, like, nobody thinks this is funny but me. So really, I shouldn't even, like, this should not even be an episode. This should be just something that I do for myself for fun. But Cameron will enjoy it, so there's that. Anyway, so as far as, like, you're the one that can't be alone without reaching for me. So that was like whenever we would have all these conversations about like we're not making out anymore. Like we're going to just be friends. We're not going to touch each other at all. And I was totally chill with that. I was like, "Look, bro, like I'm just binge watching Grey's Anatomy on the couch. So you can be in the other room. You can be on the other side of this room. You can be on the couch with me a foot away. And I have like absolutely no, like, I'm totally chill for like not, like, I don't need to hold your hand. I don't need your arm around me. I don't need you to kiss me. Like, really struggled with that. Could not do it to save his life. And I was just like, look, I'm also down with making out with you because it's very fun. So it was just like, I feel like we were constantly having this conversation where it's like, we agreed that like it wasn't happening, but it was always him. And I was like, look, you're the one that doesn't want this to happen, but you're also the one making it happen. And I'm telling you, like, I want it to happen. I'm good with it happening. So like, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also not like, if you legitimately are serious, like, I'm going to stay over there and you're going to stay over here and we're going to be good buddies. Like, that's fine. But what are you talking to me for? Like, go look in the mirror. And then when there's other people around you're avoiding me, that was because like anytime like while we were in this situationship that we would see each other in public, he would not speak to me. And I am just like, I'm actually fine to be good buddies. Like I can still like run into you and just be like, hey, how's it going? And it be normal. And he made it so uncomfortable. And I was like, it's because you're obsessed with me. Anyway. So, and then you sort of have a problem with projecting because he does have a serious problem with projecting, which honestly, it's something that like we discussed a lot where like he would constantly like make, for those who don't go to therapy and like haven't run into projection, it is when you feel something and you are either uncomfortable with the thing that you feel or you're unable to name it. So you identify it in someone else. So for example, like if you are upset and you're talking to a friend and they're not upset, they're totally normal and they're just like making regular conversation and you say like, you're really upset with me right now. And they're like, what? It's because you're really upset with them and you don't want to deal with it. So you're projecting your emotion onto the other person. This man lives in that space. Like he was just doing it all the time. But I do it occasionally too. So it was like, we would both just be like sitting there chilling, like talking about life. And like one of us he'd be like, what are you feeling right now? And I would like tell him. And then, it's like, are you sure? Or is that what you think I'm feeling? Or is that what you think that I want to hear that you're feeling? Like, do you know? And we were constantly just like going back and forth of like telling each other what we thought they were feeling, but it was what we were. It was a whole mess, obviously. It's what. Continuing on. Okay, chorus. Chorus 1. I kind of think you might be in love with me and you don't even know it. I kind of think you can't get enough of me, but you don't want to blow it. I was saying I would never get on stage and sing this. So yeah, I definitely, at the time, I was very like, I was actually, I think this, now that I'm like listening to it back and going through the lyric, I think this entire song is me projecting because I was like, I think you're in love with me, but you don't know. But I think what I was actually saying is I think I'm in love with you. And then the whole like you can't get enough of me but you don't want to blow it. I was like, you don't want to try to like fully make this a thing because you know that it's not going to turn out well. And that was like our constant. It was never like I don't want to be with you. It was like there's no point in us trying because this will only end in tragedy. Like that was like the thing that we agreed on. But he took the position of because it's going to end in tragedy, there's no point. And I took the position of who cares, which we'll get to later. Okay, chorus continues. You say that I might like you too much, and I think that means you like me too much. So yeah, that was, we'd just be like sitting there watching TV, and I'd be like, I really like you. And he'd be like, yeah, you might like me too much. Which, like, how rude to not just be like, I really like you too. Also, how tragic of me to just like be in that situation. But I was very much like, not pretty sure you're projecting again. I think you're obsessed with me. And it's just easier for you to tell me that I'm obsessed with you so that you don't have to admit to being obsessed with me. But anyway, okay, you say that I might like you too much. I think that means you like me too much. And your mind is like, what am I supposed to do with that? I better run real fast. Which like, yeah, that's why pretty much we stopped talking. Pretty much I sent him this song and he promptly never spoke to me again. So it's like, was I very wrong or was I very right? We will never know. Okay. Verse 2. You want to stay right here and buy a house and have some kids. This made me, I originally recorded myself like reacting to the song and I was like cackling so much I just deleted all of it because you guys wouldn't have been able to hear the song. But I'm sure a bunch of you noticed that the line that's you want to stay right here and buy a house is super clear. Like the levels of the vocal is higher and it's more clear than everything else. And that is because I recorded it today. I was listening back to this podcast and I was like, oh no, that lyric references something that identifies him, which like those of you who know him, I don't care, but like people that know him that don't know, people that know him and know me and don't know our relationship, I don't care to let, like, they don't know for a reason, so I don't care to let them in. And that was like an identifiable lyric, so I had to go in and re-record that real fast and put the new version in. But that basically, this used to be a lyric just so that when he listened to it, it was me saying like, I know you. I listen to you when you talk. I know things about you. I pay attention. Therefore, you should love me. But anyway, the lyric is, you want to stay right here and buy a house and have some kids. And I want to get the hell out of the Midwest. Beyond that, I don't know, I'll admit. So basically, that was one of the this is going to end in tragedy conversations that we used to have. Is like, he wants to be a dad and I very much do not want to be a mom. He wants to buy a house. I already own a house and I don't want anyone to live in it with me. And so it was very much also like, I want to get far, far, far away from here. And he doesn't want to go far enough from here. So that it was just one of those, like, we are on such different, like such opposite trajectories. Like, we have completely different goals. Like, why would we bother trying to be in a relationship with each other? And then verse 2 continues. But right now in this moment, we're in orbit of each other. So wanting different things, well, how much does that really matter? You, sir, need to work on these excuses. I kind of look. Power to 2023 Samantha. She was in her feelings and she was shouting it to the rooftops, like, because I was very much just like, okay, so you want this and I want that, but neither of us is there. Right now we're both here. So like, who cares that it's gonna end in tragedy? And like literally he'd be like, me. I care. And I was like, but I don't. Anyway, run from situationships, kids. But they are fun. So maybe don't run from them. Maybe run into them. I mean, who knows? Maybe you need it as part of your like life growth. Um, okay. Chorus 2 is I kind of think you might be in love with me and you don't even know it. That's the same as chorus 1. The second line changes a little bit. I kind of think you want some more time with me, but you don't want to own it. So that was more like he would randomly be like, let's hang out. And then we'd hang out for like 4 or 5 days at a time. And then like not see or speak to each other for like 2 months. And I was, because I felt he was never going to come out and say like, I want to be with you more often, I guess, because he wasn't going to follow through with it. There's a lot of like mind changing. And to all of you who are listening to this being like, Samantha, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like this man like clearly wants nothing to do with you. It wasn't that either. And like that was the problem, because I have had those relationships where I'm just constantly like, I love you. Be with me. Like, why won't you love me back? And the man is just like, because you're psychotic. I don't love you. Like, I don't want to be with you. Get out of my life. I don't want to spend any time with you. And he was very much like, I love spending time with you. Like, you're hilarious. You're fun. I love having you here. Like, please stay another night. Then it's just like, but I don't want to date you officially because long term it's not going to work out. And I don't want to be sad when we end badly. So if we just don't date, then we can't officially end badly, because it's like it's more like it never happened. But all that does is trick your brain. Anyway, where are we here? Versus the chorus 2. Oh, I might make you laugh a little too much and you might want me around a little too much. Yeah, that was me being like, look here, sir. I know that I scare you because I'm awesome. I'm hilarious and you actually want me around all the time, but you're not telling me and you're trying to keep me at arm's length because you know that you will be so obsessed with me and then you're just not going to know what to do because you're trying to avoid this tragic ending that may or may not happen. Okay, so the lyric is, I might make you laugh a little too much, you might want me around a little too much, and your mind's like, I'm not equipped to deal with that, because it'll never last. And then, oh my gosh, this is the song I put all of the stupid little whispers into, just because really and truly, you guys, I put these in the song. So this is like when the song is like, 'cause it'll never last, and then I'm like, but does it need to? And I put all of these little whispers in the song specifically because I wanted him to listen to it multiple times. Like, I wanted him to be like, wait, what is she saying? And like rewind and have to hear it again. I just wanted to dominate his evening. And it worked. So I was like, but does it need to? Like, seriously, does it need to last? Because I used to be in this place where I would say, like, when I was in high school, I would tell boys, like, if you're not my husband, get out of his way. Like, if you're not serious about me, like, and really and truly, I think that I passed on a lot of potentially great relationships and I held on to a lot of terrible relationships because I was so focused on the relationship needing to last forever. And so I feel like I am now at a place in my life where I understand that things come in seasons, like we don't expect to work at the same company our entire life. So there's like high school is 4 years, college is give or take 4 years, and then, however many years of grad school if you do grad school. But like most of us don't expect to live in the house that we grew up in with, like, right? It's like you turn give or take 18. I mean, I know now it's older for a lot of people, but you don't expect to stay in your parents' house forever. Like, you expect to leave at some point. And whether you're renting or you buy a house, like the first place that you live once you leave your parents' house, you don't expect that to be your forever home either. You've got your like your school friends and your work friends and your church friends and your gym friends, and you don't expect every single person that you meet to be in your life forever. So why do we expect our romantic relationships to be the magic thing that lasts forever? Like, I just think it's more realistic to go into these understanding that like maybe it won't last forever, but does that make it not worth the time? Like, if it's gonna last 6 months, if it's gonna last 2 years, if it's gonna last 20 years, like, why does it ending at some point make it not worth pursuing and not worth having and not worth enjoying? And that was really what I was trying to get at, but in like a fun way. I was like, I mean, yeah, honestly, I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna last either, but I don't need it to last. Like, I love you and I'm obsessed with you and you're the most interesting person that I've ever known, and I just want to soak up as much of you as I possibly can, like, while we're in the same city. Like, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. That's chorus. I'm like reading ahead of the lyrics and it is killing me. Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. I really and truly, I am like, as I'm going through this, I am mortified that I sent this to him. Well, I am equal parts impressed with myself. I'm very like, you go girl. Like, you send him that song. You drive him nuts. And I'm also like, why did you do that? Like, oh my gosh, the pain. And like, also, bless his soul for like, he responded to this so sweetly. Like, I can't, oh my gosh. What a time. Okay. So we've made it to the bridge. Okay, the lyric of the bridge is, have you noticed you do things like answer every single time I call, no matter who's around you. My voice is a sound you like. And you worry if I hate you. Okay, maybe I should. I'm trying to see, like, should I read the whole bridge or just pause? Because oh my God. Wow, this is, I'm sweating. Okay, so this was another, I'm going to just do line by line. So in terms of answer every single time I call, no matter who's around you, my voice is a sound you like. This was another very specific, like, in case you think this might not be about you, it's definitely about you, because I truly don't even remember what I was calling him for, but there were like multiple instances during this situationship that like I would call just to talk about something, to like complain about work or complain about my family or talk about a friend thing. Like, I don't know, but like we were friends, right? So I would call just to like get advice from my friend, and he would be like with a bunch of like people. I'm like, are you at a party? Like, what's happening? I'm pretty sure he was definitely on a date a time or two. And I was like, sir, why did you answer the phone? And he's like, because you called. like this is, I'm like, you're busy. Like, if you're busy, don't answer. And he was like, you're important to me. When you call, I'm going to answer. Like, what do you need? I'm like, I don't need anything. Like, I'm just whining about work. Like, he'd be like, all right, cool. Whine about work. Like, what's going on? Just like, okay, sure. That's not weird. Okay, continuing the bridge. You worry if I hate you. Let me get this straight. You won't take me on a date because you don't want me that way. So that we got to a point where I was like, we should just go on a real date and just see what it's like. Like, let's just go out one time and maybe we hate it. Like, maybe you love it and I hate it. Like, we can't really know until we try it. So I kept being like, let's just see if it's fun or if we hate it, like, let's just know once and for all. And he was very adamantly like, we're not going on a date. Like, because there's no point. He's like, this will never end well. We're not going to try it. But then he was like constantly worried about did I hate him? Was I mad at him? Was I upset with him? Like, which just was weird to me because I was like, dude, like, I talk to you all the time. Like, I hang out with you all the time. Like, you know that I'm obsessed with you. Like, if I were mad, you would know. And I remember we were like out somewhere one time, and I think that like it was just cold. Like, I just was really antsy because we were outside and it was like a rainy day or it was cold or something. So I was like shifting my weight a lot as more of like a trying to stay warm thing. And then we get in the car and he's like, you hate me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I know, like, you hate me right now. And I am like, dude, why are you so paranoid? He's like, I made you stand outside for like 20 minutes. And I am just like, like, made me stand outside? Like, I could have sat in the car. I don't know. Like, just the whole, was a lot of that I thought was really, really strange. Or like, we would be having like a normal good time and he would just randomly be like, are you mad at me? And I'm like, did I make a face? Did I yell? What? Did you do something that like I should be upset about? Like, what's going on here? Okay, continuing. Okay, so you won't take me on a date because you don't want me that way. But then you'll have me over, make sure I'm never cold, and we'll keep all our clothes on. You'll hold me until dawn. This this is hilarious to me because so many people like so like all of my friends that like knew that this whole thing was happening, like nobody believed that we were not sleeping together. Like, we never slept together. We were not sleeping together. This was not like a physical relation. I shouldn't say it wasn't a physical relationship because like making out was fun, but that's like literally all we did. It like we would just like sit there, and it's like, you know, like he'd be like having his issues and I would be binge watching Grey's Anatomy, and most days I was really just like there to make sure he was like waking up and drinking water. But so it was very like, it just was funny to me because so many people were like, this sounds really toxic and terrible, like the sex must be really good for you guys to keep doing this. And I was like, doesn't exist. So not really sure why the assumption, like, have you met me? Like, have you met me? And so this was really funny to me because the whole, like, you'll have me over and make sure I'm never cold. He was very attentive to like, what temperature do you want the room to be? Like, do you need a blanket? Do you need a fan? Like, are you comfortable? Was like obsessed with making sure that like I was good at like, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Like, stay hydrated. Anything I can get you, anything I can do. It was awesome. Like, absolutely the best. Like, I was having the best time. I was having so much fun. And so since I put the lyric in, like, we'll keep all our clothes on, you'll hold me until dawn, when I sent him this song, he thought that lyric was in there because I was mad that we hadn't had sex. And I was more like just pointing out the fact. I was like, the fact that like you will just lay here and cuddle with me like all night for like multiple nights. Like, dude, you love me. Like, you love me. Like, you're not getting like things that, you know, like if this wasn't meaningful to you, like you would be asking for a lot more. Like, you'd be really trying something here and you're not because you love me. Like, and it kills me that I like threw that in the song to be like, this is proof. Like, this is how I know that you're in love with me. And he was like, you're seriously mad that I didn't sleep with you? I was like, bro, have you met me? Okay, the bridge continues to say, I'm sure there's another explanation why. You watch me sleep like you love me. You stroke my hair like you love me. You can't fake the way your face lights up when I walk through the door. You love me. Which, all of these things were true. So I was like, no lies were told, sir. And yeah, honestly, that last lyric, that was my favorite part. Like, it was always any time that, like, I had something to do, like, if I was going to hang out with friends, or if I, like, went home to, like, shower and get new clothes and something or something and come back, and he'd be like, okay, but will you come back tonight or tomorrow? And I'd be like, sure, whatever. And then every time that, like, I would, like, enter his apartment, he'd be like, you came back. It was just, it was literally was so, it was like, I don't want this to sound bad because I do mean this in, like, the nicest possible way. But when, like, people that are pet people, because I'm not one, but people that, like, dog moms always express to me, like, nobody loves you more than your dog. Like, your dog is just so freaking excited to see you every time you come home. And, like, whether you've been gone for 5 minutes or an hour, your dog acts like you've been gone for 10 years and, like, always greets you, like, so, so excited. Like, that is what I felt every single time I, like, entered this man's space. Is he was just, like, so insanely happy to see me. Like, that in itself was like, I will stay in this situationship forever because you just make me feel awesome. Like, I felt so important. It was so exciting, like, every single time, but also confusing because I would be like, sir, we've done this so many times now. Like, why are you shocked, like, every time I return? Like, come on now. And then I have another little whisper that just says, it's possible I could be wrong, but I'm not wrong. That's because I'm like, I acknowledge that this entire song could just be me projecting my feelings onto you, but that's not the case because I've already admitted to being in love with you. Like, you already know how I feel. How I feel is already on the table. So therefore, I cannot be projecting. I am just announcing the truth that we both know aloud. And then it repeats the second chorus. And then at the very end of the second chorus, that says, like, your mind's like, I'm not equipped to deal with that because it'll never last. There's another little whisper that's like, but does it need to though? Because I don't know. Like, that was my whole, like, his whole argument was like, if we try this, it's gonna, like, we're gonna kill each other and both be, like, so depressed. Like, it's gonna explode in a bad way. Like, it's gonna explode and, like, it's gonna be, like, angry or sad, but, like, nothing good there's no possible good ending here. And I was very like, I totally see what you're saying and I totally agree with you, but do we care? Like, I'm kind of like chasing the red flag. All those memes on Instagram that are like, didn't you see the red flags? And you're like, I thought it was a carnival. It's like, I'm, like, hanging out at the carnival and it's like, okay, is this pop-up carnival makeshift roller coaster that was put up overnight gonna kill us? Maybe, but if we die while on the drop of the roller coaster, screaming and having a great time and having a lot of fun, like, do we care? Like, now we're dead and we don't know. Which, he did not like my logic. So, okay, fine. But it made sense to me at the time. Okay, so that was the whole song. This was very fun to just, like, oh my gosh, last summer was such a time. Like, I love being in love, you guys. Like, I literally am addicted to falling in love and being in love. Like, I just think it is so fun. And I'm kind of like, if I have to crash and burn after, I don't really care, which like maybe isn't the healthiest thing, but I go to therapy. So working on it still, just trugging along through life. But I just, oh my gosh, I truly just like, I don't regret any of it. That's one of my favorite situation. I was gonna say one of my favorite situationships. It's the only situationship I've been in that I like enjoyed. So like had so much fun the whole time. But also I had so much fun writing this song. Like it was one of those things where I could not sleep because the melody was just stuck in my head. And so I'd be up until like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, like writing lyrics. And then I usually like sing stuff into voice notes where like I just hum all the parts and I think about like what I want all the parts to sound like. And then I like go to my piano just to figure out what key the song is in. And if I can find enough like presets and Apple loops that sound similar enough to what I heard in my head, I'll use them. Usually I just do the whole thing a cappella. But this song I like did find like beats and stuff that like worked like close enough. And I just thought it was so fun. Like it was really fun to write. It was really fun to record. It was really fun to send which like I feel so bad because literally like the last time we had a conversation he was like, please don't write any more songs. Which I mean, there's the I don't know. I don't think he would care. I don't think this is one that he upset him. But I had some dark ones, and I had like I kicked the whole thing off with like a really angry one, where I basically was like, I hate you, and he said he felt like I was yelling at him the whole time, which honestly wasn't like, that was interesting because that really wasn't the goal. I was like, I'm not trying to yell at you. Like I more was like, I was saying like, I'm sad and angry and I want you to care. But this one I love because it's just like, let's be in love. Like, come live in this alternate reality fairy tale with me. Like, come have fun with me. And I don't remember his reaction to this song specifically because it was kind of like I wrote the whole EP in like 2 weeks. So I was kind of just like sending him songs like back to back to back. And it was like whenever he had the like mental and emotional capacity to go through the process again, he'd be like, okay, well, I want to say I want to say it was the first 3. I think I wrote slower. Like, I'm pretty sure I sent him like one, and then like 2 weeks passed and I sent him another one, and then a week passed and I sent him another one. And then I think I wrote the other 3 like all in the span of like 4 or 5 days. And then I sent those 3 to him like all at one time. And he was like, oh my gosh, please stop. Like very overwhelming. But I will say, because you guys know that I write men letters, and I have never in my life had a man write me back. Like, I don't usually get, actually, I take that back. One man did write me back one time. That's a story I'll have to tell sometime. But typically I don't even get acknowledgement that my letters have been received, and they definitely don't respond to them. So, and when I was in high school writing songs, I wasn't writing them to say anything to the boys that hurt me. I was writing them just for me. It was like, I'm just writing this to process my feelings about you and this thing that you did. And like, as soon as I wrote the song, I would feel better and I would share it with my friends, and I just like wouldn't even like, the boy really didn't matter anymore. I think there were maybe two songs that I wrote in high school that I specifically wrote like to tell a boy something, and I like recorded those and put them on Facebook because I was like, I'm gonna make you see this. So this was kind of a new project in terms of like, instead of writing him a letter, I'm gonna write him 6 songs, which wasn't even, it was supposed to be one song. And then I just had more to say. And I just kept having like more to say and more to say and more to say. And then after the sixth song, I was like, huh, I said it all. And I honestly think that I got to that place because of the dialogue that he allowed me to have. Like the fact that he like sat and listened to them and like responded and like told me how he felt and like asked how I felt and like listened to how I felt. And we had like really cute, like deep heart to hearts of like even him being like, I didn't feel awesome receiving that song, but like you're entitled to like your feelings and your opinions, and like sorry I made you feel that way. Totally like not what I want to do, but like I just, oh my gosh, I just thought he was like the loveliest human. Like it was just such a good time. I miss it a lot. But I'm also just thinking about like, because I already played the like sweet love song that I wrote him, and I think there's only of the six, it's like there's the angry one, the sweet love song. There's like two like happy dancey like this, and then there's two like very dark and depressing. And so, but I'm like, I'm now thinking that the other like dancey song on the EP, I think that's the only other like upbeat song I've ever written. I guess, well, I think the last song I played you guys from high school was Keep Coming Back, and that's pretty upbeat. But it was also like, oh, well, that was also like a I know you love me song. So I guess that's the thing. I'm either in a super upbeat, like, I know you love me and you just won't admit it place, or I'm in like a, why won't you love me? My heart is broken. Like, wah, boo-hoo, everything's terrible. So yeah, just because I've been playing for you guys in order of writing the songs from high school. And so the next one is called Crying Alone, and it's not about a boy. I actually wrote that one to my parents, but it's still like real sad. And I was like, I'm already sad. I don't need to be more sad. So I'm actually in a great mood now. Listening to this song always, always, always puts me in the best mood. So next week, maybe we'll dive back into some deep topics and some hard conversations. I did have some hard conversations this week. I just don't want to talk about them right now. So if anyone has stuff they want to talk about or topics they want to cover, email me at realhonestpod@gmail.com. And we will talk. Have a great week.
I'm not here to sugarcoat, life's already a bumpy road. Too much shelter causes pain, let's just be real honest. Things are gonna knock you down, avoidance will not help you out. Let's talk it through, you, me and you, let's keep it real honest.